Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi.
I'm Envy Jitters.
I'm CheerandCosplay. And I'm dying. I'm Kozi.
Some people are just never ready to begin. It happens. It's okay. Anyway, what are we up to this week? We're still doing our we're considering our how did we describe this before? Our underrated recommendations, but it's more of just like stuff that we don't think people talk about enough.
Yes.
Maybe. And this was your week, Ian, so why don't you introduce the show?
This was my week. I think we kind of talked about it a little bit at the end last time, but I chose Dororo, which is a show that came out, I believe, 2020?
2019.
2019. Okay. I probably watched it in 2020, at the beginning of 2020, but it came out 2019. It's one of my favorite shows, to be honest, and I just feel like not enough people have watched it, but it was pretty popular when it came out, but it kind of went off, so just wanted to give it a boost.
Yeah, so this show is about a kid named Roro and a not kid named Yakamaru.
He's a teenager.
Yeah, travel around the countryside killing demons so he can get all of his body parts back, because his dad sold his body to demons whenever he was born. What a father.
Never a good time.
No.
He wasn't even born yet.
Yeah.
He was in the process of being born.
Yeah, Dad was like, hey, take whatever you want. They're like, we're going to take, like, your son and rip him apart. But they missed the head.
Okay, see, they didn't miss, but right off the bat, I have an issue with that. He's like, take whatever you want from me, and they took it from someone else.
Well, the kid is
That's
his
his
kid.
Son.
So depending on how you want to look at it, the kid is kind of his
doesn't
property
matter.
in a way.
I think most people...
Yakamaru didn't sign on with the demons.
You know, back then, children were property.
Still, I don't think this guy had to pay it all.
This contract would not hold up in court.
I think the point is that it was unfair, you know?
Yeah. It was like, we're going to take your heir away.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'll make another one.
It was one of those things where most people probably would have said no if that's, you're the father and that's your child, but he...
Oh, he's an asshole. Here's what would have been better. If every time he has a kid, they take everything.
Every time!
Like, he's like, oh, they didn't, just take my one son. They took my entire legacy. Oh, everything dies with me. That would have been a little bit more of a
problem for him?
Yeah, devil's deal kind of Faustian
if they just,
thing.
Took his dick or something.
Nah, that's too on the nose. You have to be a little more creative sometimes. You can learn to live without a dick.
I think a huge part of it for me was that I think one of the major themes of the story is just scapegoating, and it's like they're taking something, they're making an innocent sacrifice for the quote-unquote
greater
creation of a utopia or a better, kind of like The Ones Who Walked Away from Amalas by Ursula Le Guin. It's that sort of theme, and I think it only works if you strip something away from an innocent person and then claim that, this is a great society and you're a great leader even though you took that away,
Yeah, I agree with that. Not with the act of it, but
I feel like that was a very obscure reference.
What was?
The Ones Who Walk Away.
Well, it's my favorite short story, so...
It's so good, but I feel like it's very obscure.
I love her. Left Hand of Darkness is also one of my favorite books, so I just love that author.
I'm a fan of Most Dangerous Game. I don't know what that says about me.
That's your favorite short story?
Oh, yeah, as far as short stories go.
It is good.
There might be other ones, though. I mean, that's kind of I guess, a discussion. Anyone else have short stories that they like?
Short story Rex.
Might as well just, get a quick round in.
It could have been worse. You could have said it was The Lottery.
The Lottery! That's in, every middle school reading list.
Yeah, boring as hell. No,
what
you know what was...
Flowers for Algernon? Is that too long?
I think that's a novella.
That's a book. Not like a short story. You know what? I'm gonna also I don't know if anyone had to read The Painted Man. There was a collection of I think Ray Bradbury short stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to read that in school.
I like Ray
enjoyed
Bradbury.
That. Yeah.
There was one where it was Americans spelled backwards, where it portrayed Americans being this really fucked up kind of tribal people.
Yeah. I think I've like read a segment of that.
Sounds familiar, but I don't.
Yeah,
I like that
it's one of those things like if you like write something or tell something in a very specific way, it can make it sound like something else, and then you're just like, well, that's what we are. Blah, blah. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of like take a look at yourself kind of thing.
Interesting.
Chibi, Envy, anything before we continue?
I can't think of anything on the top of my head right now.
My cat is distracting me, so...
That must be a very interesting short story.
Next time.
Next time. Anyway, Dororo.
Yes, you were explaining the plot.
I think we pretty much did because like we don't, because here's the thing is like as far as like recommending things, I don't think for the most part that we want to tell everybody exactly what happens. Like I know last week I was very about I can't talk about samurai flamenco.
This one doesn't rely on like spoilers so much.
Not so much, but like part of it is the journey, definitely. I think.
For sure.
Like the plot is exactly what you saw here in these first 3 episodes. Dororo and Yakimaru go to a town. They fight a demon. Yakimaru gets a body part back. There are lessons learned along the way about like society and the things that people do to themselves and to one another. Stuff like that. And it continues on that way as we slowly get in. It's a bit like Heart of Darkness a little bit, where you're kind of like heading down that river, just seeing the worst humanity can be. The furthering you go, and then eventually reflects in yourself a little bit. Not to get into spoilery kind of stuff, but like, you know, the characters go to some dark places.
There's definitely a lot of reckoning later on about worldviews and what matters like in the society and for the individual, you know, so I like a lot of that stuff later.
What it means to be a human.
Yeah.
What it means to be a demon.
A lot of the contrasts between him and the brother later on are really interesting, but you don't get as much of that early on.
Not
in
for
these
the
3
first
episodes.
half as much.
You see a little bit with their lives being so different, you know. He's got the good life and he's got, you know, the kind of much more difficult life.
But even the contrasts there of how like they actually feel about it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they do confront each other like halfway through the series, like as we start to get to the latter half of this and things become a little more because he doesn't even know he has a brother at this point.
No, he doesn't know who his real family is.
I mean, neither of them does.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, the other brother, he doesn't know either.
Yeah, I mean, I think at most he might know like, oh, there was like someone born.
He knows about the statue and the mom.
Yeah, so he probably just thinks
he knows
like,
a brother died.
Yeah,
but
child
he doesn't
death
know
kind of thing.
That he's still alive or out there. You know,
yeah.
Nobody knows that.
I don't think any of them. No one was expecting
knows.
that guy
to live.
You know, it's one of those things where you're kind of like, the dad had just been a little less cruel, his problems would have been solved, because like the mom was like, no, if he's gonna die, at least let him like die like loved and in my arms or something. He's like, nah, we'll just throw him in the river. And like,
yeah, that came back to bite him.
Had he just been like, okay, fine, keep it till it's dead. Because it probably would have died anyway.
Yeah.
He didn't say to throw it in the river. He told her to drown him.
Yeah, but like, had he not... Oh, you know what this is? This is fucking Oedipus. Because they tell the dad in Oedipus, get rid of the kid or he's going to kill you and take your kingdom away. And so he tells someone, here, take my kid, get rid of them. Kill them. They don't do it. He goes to a different kingdom, grows up there, comes back, and doesn't realize that he's killing his father.
I don't know why, but I was thinking of Moses because of the down the river baby thing.
There's a little bit of that there, but Moses...
I thought more about Moses, too.
I think there's a big difference,
to be honest.
If it had been Yakimaru goes down the river and then ends up having an amazing life, and because he was the Prince of Egypt.
And honestly, it's kind of like the guy with the Technicolor Dreamcoat, too, how he comes back later and he's like...
This is a fucking universal story.
It is.
Throwing babies in the river.
I mean...
Honestly, for the amount that you see them in literature, oh, yeah.
Well, and even at that, like, Superman, he's supposed to be like a Moses
Superman,
figure, yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Most people conflate him with Jesus nowadays, but he's supposed to be a Moses.
I feel like there's definitely a lot of stories that follow some of these things because they are just big, like, mythological...
It's one of the 10.
Yeah.
Or is it 12? I forget which one it is. What number? We're telling the same 10, 12 stories over and over again.
Yeah.
It was 12 disciples.
Well, that's Jesus. What about Moses? He had everybody in the desert for 40 years.
Who had the worst river ride? Moses or Hyakimaru?
Moses got out of there pretty easy and had everything still intact when he got to Pharaoh's house and was like,
this guy doesn't even have a body. I don't know.
But
this is not even a comparison.
Hyakimaru was not damaged by his river ride either.
Okay,
He's already damaged. He's as damaged as he can be.
It's a point of like, okay, how were you when you got out of the river? There's no comparison. Like, I mean...
It wasn't because of the river, though.
No, it wasn't because of the river, but also they're going down
Okay, Hyakimaru had, like, the demon right at the very beginning. But Moses had a bunch of shit going on.
Yeah.
I mean, Hyakimaru had the, everything basically from his body gone, and his dad wanting him dead. And then Moses was a healthy baby, just Pharaoh was like, kill all the firstborns. So... I guess potato, although Hyakimaru was a very spoiled potato right out of the gate.
Yakimaru was
Moses
a spoiled potato? Moses was a spoiled potato.
Like a rotten potato. He's saying, like, rotten.
Oh, a spoiled, like, rotten. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean spoiled?
I feel like you're, like, these words are already conflated with each other, so it's like, you just mean, like, oh, he's, like in a bad spot, he's gonna die anyway? Is that what you mean? Because spoiled rotten is just a term.
He was a sad potato.
Okay, he's a sad potato. Gotcha.
Sad potato. And Moses was only in the water like 10 minutes.
We don't know how long Yakimaru was in the water.
It could have been like 3 days. We don't know.
He'd be dead. He's a baby. Anyway, enough about Moses. Go to a synagogue if you need to learn more about that. Yakimaru and Dororo. Let's talk about, like, okay, so we didn't really go around, like, what did you guys think about these overall episodes? I've watched this with you originally. You showed this to me. I enjoyed it a lot.
I watched the whole thing first, and then I watched it again with you.
Yeah.
I remember my friend from high school, he showed me, because I didn't watch it immediately when it came out. I think it was, like, episode 6 by the time I watched it, and I got hooked, like, after the first episode, because it kind of reminded me of like an extremely darker Ghibli film with like its aesthetic, so I liked that, and I really enjoyed the show overall.
It was pretty gross. I did not like looking at that baby. It reminded me of that one, like, hollow rabbit. Is it Animal Crossing or Pokemon? I think it's an Animal Crossing villager.
Oh yeah, the one that's like the coconut. That looks like a gyroid.
Coco. Yeah. She terrifies me.
No.
I did not like being reminded of that. I
feel like your perception is biased because you watched it with me.
Maybe. I didn't love it, but I do think I'm going to finish it out, like... Even if I don't like something, I usually like, okay, well, I still want to see how it ends and where it goes.
After you let me spoil most of it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, something has to be boring. Something has to be boring for me to not finish it.
It's definitely not boring.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly gets better, I will say that. Like, the first 3 episodes are good, but yeah, like, there's arcs in the show that get really deep, really dark, and or really touching. So yeah, I will say I would say I enjoyed the first 12 episodes the most out of the show, although the last fight of the show was really good too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I feel like those first 12 episodes were pretty episodic, where it was like, oh, Demon of the Week, but then, like, it is 24, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So those last
25.
12 were like an overreaching plot.
I feel like once it gets into the family stuff, you get more of the like main conflict. Though I like the Monster of the Week stuff as well. But I like the mythical kind of Ghibli-like elements that you were mentioning, Envy. So I think that's why I also like the first 12 episodes. But the last ones, I have to agree, like, I felt more of like a connection or like, wow, this is like deep in a lot of ways in the second half of the show. So I think that's what really made me step back and be like, I think this is a great show. Like, not just a good show, but a really great one.
And not just for Yakimaru, but like also for Dororo, you always
Yeah,
also get their backstory as well.
And I like the historical stuff about the war and how it really affected people at that time. I think Dororo has a lot of good stuff in those elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her.
Mm-hmm.
I wish she was in it more. It's named after her.
I think like these 3
I
episodes.
feel like she's there the whole time.
Oh, she is, but like it's the early episodes, so it's like we're kind of getting Yakimaru's
his
backstory
backstory
first. So
was
like,
that one
especially like
episode,
episode 3 is like, yeah, it's the flashback, it's all that. From this point onward, though, it's like Dororo and Yakimaru are the main characters in a duo sense, I think.
Yeah, she definitely gets an arc later on that focuses a lot on her backstory.
Yeah.
And the stuff that happens later on with the island and all those guys.
Yeah.
I guess we should say spoiler. It's too late now, but I guess we should say spoiler that Dororo is a girl because that was like a big reveal
It's not
later on in the show.
I don't know what's that big
I was gonna say, like, I don't understand. As soon as Dororo showed up on screen, I'm like, oh, I immediately know this. So I went and checked. I'm like, I'm right.
Well, I guess it was
I
a bit of a
wasn't
dramatic.
shocked.
I mean, I guess it's dramatic irony because the audience, I guess, would be able to pick up, but then literally every other character in the show thinks that she's a girl, she's a boy.
I didn't immediately think that when I first
Dororo
watched
was
it.
dressing like a boy.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like with having the chest mostly exposed,
Yeah.
that
Also, they're a
does
kid. They
kind
don't-
of lend.
They don't have a chest, like almost at all.
Well,
So
yeah,
it's like it's easy to
I
hide
think-
at this age.
I think that decision is what would maybe lean people towards being like, oh, it's a boy, because even if it's a young girl, how dare so much of her chest be exposed?
I mean, you thought she was a boy
I did.
first, right?
I did the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, and I don't know if it's just like there was the couple little lines that they drew on the chest that I'm just like, wait a minute. Hang on.
Lines?
Let me go look something up real quick.
I feel like they usually draw those lines with boys too.
Yeah, I mean, like I think there's generally some distinction. I'm like even
like the straight line down the front.
I don't want to say I have a pair of tits on me, but if like you drew me, I'd probably have like lines under my like chest region.
I mean, I don't know. Like for some weird reason, I'm just like, oh, this makes sense to me. I'm gonna go look up and see if I'm right, because I'm gonna be really honest. I like it. It's got a good score. It's got good animation. Like, plot's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I just really need to be in the mood for something like this to watch it.
Yeah, that's definitely fair because
you're
like
not
especially
really like an action kind of person normally.
No, and the thing is like, I feel like I would have needed to have been in like my Game of Thrones phase.
Yes.
At the time of watching this, because they've got sort of the same amount of like gratuitous violence.
Yeah.
If not more. So I feel like I could enjoy it. It's just you guys know how I am with my books. I'm a mood reader. I'm the same way with my shows. So
I agree, especially because it's also, like we were saying, this goes to some darker places. It gets a little bit heavy at times. So, like, if you're looking for a light romp of a show, like maybe Samurai Flamenco up until, certain arcs, this is probably not the show.
I feel like it has its moments and it has its episodes that are
definitely
lighthearted. Like, it's not dark all the way through. And
yeah,
Dororo
episode
gives
19,
it levity.
the same episode of my Avatar.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the horse thing.
The one with the,
one with
was
the
that
horse.
his mind,
Yes.
where he was like being mind
in my
controlled.
opinion, probably the worst episode of the show.
No, he wasn't being mind controlled. I don't think there was any mind.
It was whatever where he...
This character goes with the flow a lot. It was... I think
there was something like he couldn't say something to the girl.
So, little spoiler thing. They get to a town where there's a demon. It's a small one, but he like causes everyone to say the opposite of what they want to say.
Oh, it's the opposite. That was it. Yeah.
So, spoiler, Yakimaru gets engaged to someone because she's like, hey, do you want to marry me? He's like, yes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I guess this is happening now.
It was kind of funny. It wasn't like a great episode or anything, but it was fun. I don't know.
No, and like immediately the audience is like, okay, we know exactly what's going on
The
here.
animation was totally wonky in that episode.
But it got us the horse.
AKA, I was going to say that. I literally remember when I was watching this live, or, when it was coming out, I had to pause because I was laughing so hard about those facial expressions with the horse, and
The
I
pervy horse.
It was so
yeah, I took screen caps with my phone, and I still have them on my phone to this day. I'm never getting rid of them.
It's a funny horse. It's
It was-
it's a fun episode.
It was a good episode,
It's-
but that's one of the more episodes of levity, you know,
And,
that
like-
I'm talking about. They know how to break up the sadness a little bit.
It comes very late in the series, which I think they kind of needed. Otherwise, it's very down the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very good series. It's well animated, and it's got, like, it's a very interesting story. But at the same time, it's like, oof, you need a break every now and then from everything they
Definitely.
throw at you.
Because I feel like even
Yeah.
the sort of monster of the week episodes, they have a sort of emotional core or emotional story
Right.
to them. Like the side characters sometimes. I remember there was one with a lady who visits that guy and he's nice to her and she stays with him.
Okay, that's...
And they had a very
I think that was the one you were confusing with episode 2, because it was a lady in, like, an isolated town.
Yeah,
kinda
that was
thing.
the snake
That was-
lady,
I
right?
think that
No,
would have been like
it was
the
a different
next episode.
It was a spider.
Oh, it was the spider lady. I think that
Yes.
was a little later on.
Yeah, that's
actually.
episode 2.
No,
No, we're not talking
We're
about
thinking
that
of a
lady.
different one,
Spider
different one.
lady.
And this-
The one who he almost kills.
We don't want to go into too many spoilers, but yes, there will be
Anyway,
a
that-
spider yokai at some
That
point.
lady
Okay.
and the story with the guy, I think that was a really,
Yeah.
you know, there was an emotion to it.
Yeah, this is...
And I like that.
It's one of the reasons I like this show. I like shows that are good at establishing characters very quickly for, like, an episode, and then, you know, fleshing them out, making them interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I think...
Kind of like Cowboy Bebop.
I was going to mention Cowboy Bebop. You guys didn't watch that much of it, but Katanagatari is like that. There's a couple other shows.
It's like you
and-
care about these random characters. They're only
Exactly.
there for 5 minutes, but it matters. you
Yeah,
know?
it's like they kind of build a plot around, like, this person, kind of creating a short film as more of, like,
Yeah, a
and
little
that's
bit.
and that's part of why the episodic elements work here, is that
Oh.
everything's its own self-encapsulated story a little bit.
Yes, I like that a lot. And
Yeah.
I'm going to plug a show I've been
The-
watching recently also called Link Click that does
Oh,
the
right,
same
right.
thing. I think it does
Yep.
it really well.
Yeah.
You saw
Yeah.
it too?
Yeah, I think I recommended you that show.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about Dongwa, and then you mentioned that one. And it is really good. It has that sort of episodic, like, this could be a mini movie, and it has the main characters that follow through. But sometimes, like, most of the time, you care just as much about those side characters and their story.
It takes talent.
And I really, really like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Mappa show. There's talent behind it, so...
Yeah.
And this was Mappa before they really exploded. I mean, obviously they were still successful, but like they weren't like the Mappa that they are today, like where they have 1,000
I think
shows
this
all at
was
once.
Mappa still working on like all the Naruto movies.
Were they the ones working on the Naruto movies? I did not realize that. Granted, I didn't watch a whole lot of the Shippuden ones, so...
At least a few of them.
Are those still going?
No, Naruto's over, so
Yeah,
the movies
that's
are not going. They might be working on Boruto stuff
There's
now, I don't
Boruto
know.
movies. I don't know.
But, you know, I'm not entirely interested in watching Boruto. Maybe I'll give it a
Yeah,
shot.
the two shows that they made before Dororo was Banana Fish and Zombieland Saga.
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
I know
went-
you're a fan of Banana Fish, and I was
I
not
really
big
liked
into Zombieland
Banana Fish.
Saga.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. No offense to Zombieland
Yeah.
Saga people. We watched it. I just was not feeling it.
And then obviously Mappa was known for Yuri on Ice. That's where they got their big break.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Had good animation. Had good skating scenes.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
It really
Good opening as
depended.
well. And
Yeah,
we
I
should.
forgot how much that opening slapped.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
talking about
yes,
Yuri on
that's
Ice,
like
but
one
let's
of my-
transition now to absolutely. Dororo has probably one of the
One of my
best
favorite
openings.
openings ever. It's amazing.
like visually, the the sound, like it's also showing you like character elements and stuff. Like
And
it's
it has some like
fantastic.
callbacks to the original animation even,
Yeah.
which I really like that.
We did not
Especially on
mention that yet.
Dororo.
Yeah, this was I forget if this was originally manga. It was probably originally.
It was
manga, but,
originally a manga and then
uh,
it was a TV show in the 60s as well.
That was-
1969.
I was gonna say, like, it was, yeah, I was gonna say,
60s.
it was written by the same guy who wrote Astro Boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the most famous
Which
manga.
makes sense with
manga
his art style a
writers.
little bit. Why
It
Dororo looked like
looks
that.
a lot goofier in the manga.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it does a little bit.
it does in the
It has
1969 show as well.
a cute little look to it, but it doesn't look like it does in the manga
Yeah,
show.
we did. that one time watched the 69, like the first
The
episode
opening,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh my
There's
god,
a-
that is such an annoying opening.
Oh my god.
It's like the exact opposite
It'll
of
get
this
stuck in
one.
your head.
You guys, after this,
Look up the opening
look
for
up
the
the
original.
opening for the 69 Dororo, and you're gonna be like, wow, this is the exact opposite of Dororo. Oh my god, it was 50 years later that came out.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
insane to think about.
It's interesting how that happened.
Next up, Speed Racer reboot.
Maybe.
Oh boy.
I don't know. I'm not usually a fan of like the hard rock slight screamo, but like, man, that opening.
Is this
Really
Screamo?
good. I don't think it was Screamo, but
No,
Not
it's
really.
mostly just
They
a falsetto
scream
guy.
at parts.
Yeah, at parts,
I
but I,
don't-
would consider
not
Screamo
Screamo.
more like Hunter x Hunter's first ending.
yeah.
Or that,
Death Note,
2.
second
Well, that
ending.
too.
That's
Second
why I'm
episode.
saying like slight screamo.
I don't even think this is even remotely in the genre of Screamo.
There's some falsetto,
I
but
think
that's
you
not
just
it.
I
have
was-
some people hitting high notes.
I was gonna say, like, for me, I would not consider this Screamo because I would have loved the opening otherwise. It was
You didn't
kind of meant
like
for
it?
me. Not really.
Wow, I'm heartbroken.
I get chills every time they get to the chorus.
It,
It's
like,
amazing.
visually, it's really good, but, like, musically, I don't know. I guess there was just too much going on with the lyrics all at once that I was having a hard time following it.
Like it was too fast?
No, like, lines were being sung on top of each other. And I didn't like that very much.
Even
I kinda hate
Houdini doesn't like your opinion here. That's why he's screaming.
No, Houdini doesn't like it when I talk about anything that isn't him. He
fair.
also doesn't like it when I get on the phone. So,
I don't know. I think it's a really great opening, but everybody has their opinions. It's fine.
Yep.
yeah, I know. I'm a weird one with this one.
Oh, that's totally okay. But I don't know. It's definitely one of my favorite openings ever. I never skip it. I can't. The ending was also pretty good too.
Yeah, it's just hard to watch the ending because this is an Amazon like
yeah, they make
only,
you go really fast.
and it's like, hey, you have 0.2 seconds to stop us from getting the next episode.
But I
started.
like the visuals in the ending. It was like they had some of
It
the
is.
redness like popping out on the like more grayish pictures of Dororo and
Yeah,
Shakamaru.
and it's got a bit more of like a sketch kind of style.
yeah,
a
it
little
was really
bit.
pretty.
We're even kind of singing along with it a little.
I like the song.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it didn't go as hard as the opening, of course,
No,
but it was
no.
a nice like after the show kind of ending.
We're not going to get to it, but I also think the second OP and second ending are also pretty
They were good too.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the second OP. to
Screw
tell you
you!
the
I love the
truth.
second opening.
It's one of those
I-
Naruto openings.
Because it's a fucking Naruto. It's Asian Kung Fu Generation, and I'm literally like, okay, you could just put Naruto visuals.
Exactly.
I could literally see every one of the moves that they were making being from a Naruto opening, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm down.
You
for,
could see
I'm up for
Snake
this.
Jesus Sasuke.
Snake Jesus Sasuke, wonderful. And then the second one, I like it because it's like it's got that like sort of like weird focus sort of thing that slowly gets like more in focus as the show keeps going because we're kind of like getting like, well, it
Are you
has to
talking
do
about
with
the ending?
Yakumo. Yes, the ending for the second half of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it's I don't remember the song very well, but I remember the visuals being very, very interesting and compelling.
I thought the beginning of the second opening with the image of Hyakamaru with like his body torn apart and all the bugs, like that was a
Mhm.
really cool image.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they're just like, hey, now we're a full action series.
Yeah, it
It's
was
fun.
pretty awesome. Not
You
as
know what?
awesome as
I'll
the
tell you what
first
that is.
opening, but
I'll tell
pretty
you
awesome.
what that is. That is Naruto lying in the water right before, like, that's the gayest opening from Naruto.
Oh my
probably.
god, yes,
But,
the opening of
yeah,
Naruto.
the bugs thing, that's him lying in the water and then blah blah blah. And then we get into the actual action scenes that were not in the gay opening. We get Snake Jesus Sasuke though, I think, in the second opening. We're no one else
Now we're
knows what
talking
the
about
fuck we're
Naruto.
talking about. You guys need
Anyway.
to watch the
Not at
Naruto
all.
Shippuden openings and what was it?
They
number
get
2?
progressively like just
Look, you'll see a visual of what we call Snake
Very,
Jesus
like-
Sasuke, and you're gonna be like, oh,
That's
okay,
it.
that's the one that we could
The
never
only,
skip.
the only,
I
the
know
only Naruto,
exactly what you're talking about.
I'm glad.
Alright, yeah, all right.
the only Naruto Shippuden opening I know is 16 Silhouette. So
The 16th one? You don't know like 1 through whatever?
You don't know we are fighting.
That's the
Silhouette's the
that's
most
from the original
popular
series.
OP in the whole franchise. That's why the only reason why I know it.
Well, I might have to look that up. I've been watching them chronologically. Yeah.
Snake Jesus Sasuke was Shippuden though, because there's
That was Shippuden. Fighting Dreamers, which is
That's
Go.
the first
That's the
one.
fourth
That's
opening from the first one. And Asian Kung Fu Generation did the second opening for the original series Naruto, which I think I like the best as their first series opening. But that's me. But to be fair, I also hate the first opening for Naruto.
I know you do.
So I don't get it. This doesn't work for me.
It's too chill.
Yeah. Good ending, but why is it at the beginning?
Anyway, enough about Naruto.
We gotta finish Shippuden.
I
at some
know,
point.
I know. I just have to be in the mindset.
I know, and I know we're like
There's
gonna
a lot of it.
This is
you
probably
know?
we're like past the pain arc, so this is like
yeah, I've heard it's
most
just
people
on a
say
down
it's downhill
slope.
from
yeah,
here.
so
but
like I've only heard bad things about everything after pain.
it's unfortunate,
So-
but we're not gonna
So
see
you're
another.
just getting to
like-
the World War.
Yeah, no, but like that's a mixed bag
Yeah, I've heard
because
everybody
like
say
half
it
of it
sucks.
is filler, and like we know the best filler is behind us.
Yeah.
Filler
With-
and a lot of pointless backstory.
And
filler.
then there's the god of ninjas. I don't know.
We'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there.
Anyways, Dororo.
No, that's that one in
That's the bitch with the
Ikebukuro with the
motorcycle.
the headless rider.
That's a
thing.
good one too.
Should we watch that at some point?
Yes.
Add it to the list.
Let's add it.
Add it to the
I
list.
love Dororo.
Dororo. Bo 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 bo.
Nose hair.
Yeah. I don't know. What else we
Anywho,
talk
what were
about
we on with
here?
this one?
I forget. We're going on a lot of tangents, quite frankly.
Okay,
We were talking
so
about
we were
opening.
talking about the opening, yeah.
Okay, so what have we covered so far? We covered the basic plot and some of the larger elements of it that without going too into spoilers. We've covered the
Plot
openings
of
of
the
that.
first
We've
3
covered
episodes?
was what?
Plot of the first 3 episodes, maybe?
We pretty
I
much
think we pretty
covered
much. I
that.
mean, they
Like,
just go town to town.
Yeah, they meet each other.
There's a backstory
yeah,
episode.
I mean, I guess we can kind of go into a little bit of character
Yeah.
here and there. Like Dororo, I like the con man kid
Mhm.
a little bit. Like Scooby Doo.
She's got
Flim
that
Flam?
smart talking. Oh, Flim Flam.
Come on, Flim Flam was fun.
Oh God. He was something. I don't know if anybody's watched the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo,
Good series.
but yeah, that kid.
This might be a better version.
This
of
is
Flim
a
Flam.
much better Flim Flam.
Yeah. We lost you guys again.
They don't
Yeah, a
know
little
who
bit.
he is. He's a deep cut.
Well, yeah. Yeah, he was really only there for that one series.
There's a good reason for that.
But do
Anyway,
you guys, let me ask you this. Do you guys know who Googie is?
Coogie.
Booby?
Not Booby, Googie.
Googie sounds like one of the Star Wars characters.
Oh, it's a
I
Scooby
mean,
character.
It's
I mean,
Shaggy's
I'm-
girlfriend
I'm-
from The Reluctant Werewolf.
I mean, I'm a
Oh.
casual
Someone-
Scooby-Doo fan,
the
so
the blonde with the pigtails.
No, she has orange hair and a plaid skirt from Reluctant Werewolf.
She only appears in that, so technically Flim Flam has more screen time.
Flim Flam has
so-
more screen time than Googie.
Googie was an LSD hallucination,
Yeah.
as was the rest of that movie. It's red shirt Shaggy. It's when he was high, and no one was hanging out with him except Daphne occasionally, who saw him. In rehab.
Anyway,
We have
we're
a
going
whole
on a
theory.
tangent again.
Sorry,
with
it's just so many
Scooby-Doo,
interesting
but
things to talk about.
Dororo. I like Dororo as a character. I think once again she gets more depth later on, but even in these first 3 episodes, I feel like she's a fun character. You know, we get some contrast from Hyakamaru's personality. You know, we
Or lack
get.
thereof.
I mean, he's quiet for sure, but for
He's a walking stick.
like I definitely feel like despite that, I think Hyakamaru is actually an interesting character, and I will.
I
argue
mean,
for
it's a
that.
contrast. Not a contrast, but it's a what's the word? I can't think of literary terms right now, but it's
Foil?
Foil?
it's the comparison of when he gets more of his body parts back, he slowly gains more of his humanity and
Character
compassion
arc?
for others.
Yeah. We see more of who he is and his personality as we keep going on because he gains kind of like what you said, more of that humanity back or
He
whatever.
gains an
Yeah.
ability to communicate with the rest
Yeah,
of the world.
to like express himself and
Yeah.
stuff. But I even feel like even when he's silent and stuff, I don't know. I feel like I know what's going on with him. I feel like I know a little bit about him and what he's feeling regardless. Like, I feel like sometimes in anime you get a silent character who's got like nothing going on, and I have that complaint about some characters like Nezuko a little bit. No matter how much I like her, there's not much happening there, unfortunately. But I feel like Hyakkimaru, there's a lot there that I connect to for some reason. I don't know why, but they managed to get like some micro expressions or like something. Do you know what I mean?
I think I get
like
what you're
you
saying.
feel
I think-
something
it wasn't
from it.
micro expressions. I feel like they conveyed a lot of it with like body language.
Yeah, it was action and stuff like that. I think that
Yeah,
mostly did it. Because,
I feel like he has a goal and like
Yes.
something he wants that makes me care about him.
Like, the
you
number
know?
one thing you can say about his personality right now is he is a determined character.
Yeah, he's
And
driven.
Whether or not he really has a personality at this point, at the very least, he has a goal that he is looking to achieve. What he's going to do after that, we have no idea. But at the very least, he is a motivated character, and that is interesting. He's going to move the plot along.
And I think it's something we also can connect to, because it's like this person had something important taken away from him.
Yeah.
And we feel for that and we want him to win, you know?
So just imagine how interesting he is whenever he finds out that it was taken from him.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't even know that this was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
part of
and then
this.
he becomes even more interesting when he finds out about that. It was actually taken by his own family.
Yeah.
But it's like, even for now, like, you know, he wants to feel these things that he can't feel right now, and to be more, I don't know, to have more like autonomy or whatever you want to call it. Like, I feel like
he wants to have something.
he has these desires and they make sense to me, and I connect to him because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know his motivation is actually seeking out his body parts
I mean,
at first? Because he was just kind of attracted to the demons.
I think we get
know
that.
if he
I think we get that.
necessarily.
Okay, everyone stop talking.
Yeah,
about this.
what were
Okay,
you
so
saying?
here's what I think is going on here. He has this aura vision kind of thing. He can see the souls of living creatures around him, and I guess plant life and stuff like that. So this is kind of how he's able to move around the world without having ears, eyes, or a nose to actually get input from the world, or a sense of touch, for that matter. And yeah, I think because probably they were violent towards him and all that, he has this understanding of like, there's these red things and I can kill these things. I think he's just looking for something to do at first, but then he gets his leg back after he kills
that's
one
what
of
I was
them.
about to say.
He's like,
Like, he
"Holy
got
shit.
the leg back.
There's like a larger thing going on. Can I get more of
But
these?
I would raise the point, after it actually grew back, could he actually feel it? Because he didn't have his nervous system.
He didn't have a nervous system, but I think he was at least aware of, I have a thing that is moving. There is
Yeah.
like, I feel like even people like, when in episode 3 they said that he got back his sense of pain. So that could be a full nervous system, but I think to some degree the fact that he can move his body and has awareness, like you see he writes his name. The only way he knows how to do this is if he can make a motion and he's aware of his own body. So
Yeah.
he is aware of his body.
I think a big part of it is he did leave to go on this journey. Like, he left the old man. So I think he clearly was going for a reason. It seemed like a goodbye.
Wait a
It didn't
minute. I
seem like
I
he
remember
was
now.
just going on a
Again, I
short
raised
trip.
the point. He was attracted to the demons.
I disagree. I'm remembering now. The monsters were in the rafters before, remember?
Yeah.
The demons were attracted to him.
Yeah.
It went both
So-
ways.
Fair enough, but that gives purpose to I need to fight demons because they're coming anyway.
But
And
yeah,
they're going
that's
to
what
kill
I'm.
me.
What I'm saying is, I don't think he set out with the purpose of I'm gonna get my body back. I
Okay.
don't
I
even
think
think
he
he
did,
though.
realized what he was missing.
Here's the thing. He
Yeah.
spent years killing demons around
Yeah.
around the hut. Around the place his pseudo dad was.
No,
He
it's
didn't-
best mom.
Yeah. He didn't leave. He didn't go out seeking demons until he found out, oh, I got a leg back out of this.
Right. And then he
But
left for good
He
to
was
look for
kind of pushed out. He didn't just leave of his own will.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
He left
He
of his own
absolutely
will,
did.
absolutely.
He was helped along from, according to Envy, best mom, and Best Mom gave him
permission
the
to
tools.
leave. Yeah.
Yeah. But now he has a goal in that. Before, it was just like, okay, they're coming for me, I'll come for them, and yeah, we'll just, this is just what my life is. It's something to do.
I think he would have stayed with Best Mom if it wasn't for him feeling like, I can now get my body back. I think otherwise he would have just stuck around Best Mom.
Yeah, otherwise it's just like, everything in life is the same.
His body is missing,
Yeah,
though.
he does.
Okay, he is aware of the fact that he
He's
did not have a
different.
leg, and now he has one after he killed one of these things. What happens if I keep doing this? What happens if I go and seek out other ones like the one I just killed? Maybe I need to find out.
Yeah, even without him talking, I definitely 100% got the sense that he has this goal to get his body back.
Because he gets the leg back, and he's, like, confused. He's touching it, he's feeling it, he's moving his toes. Like, what the fuck is this? Why did that happen?
Yeah.
What was the most recent thing I did? I killed something. This is a normal occurrence for me, but at the same time, it's like, this is different. Why is this different? I need to go find out why this is different.
Right.
So
That's always what I thought.
But that's still not going to seek out to return his body.
He is absolutely
Yes,
doing.
it
Okay,
is.
look.
Once he starts realizing.
Hold up. This is just semantics. This is semantics of return his body. Yes, he doesn't know that he's missing things. To him, this has been in his entire life. But he knows he can gain something. Whether he knows that it's lost to him, it doesn't matter. He knows he can get something that he did not have before by going after these things.
I mean, here's the thing. He can tell that thing is actually his because it's not like the prosthetic parts of his body. Because the prosthetic parts appear green to him. Everything else that is living appears gray. He can tell a distinction between these two things.
Now, whether it's a matter of, this was taken from me, and I know that, and I'm trying to get it back, or I never had this, and now I have it, and I want more, it doesn't matter. It ends in the same result of, I need to go out and find these things.
I think at the very least he knows by killing the demons, he will get these parts. He will get something.
He will get something back.
I'm not arguing about his
first time.
motivations later. It's purely at the beginning, because I feel like you guys are severely overestimating.
I think you're severely underestimating.
Advanced of a person Hyakkimaru would have been. He can't communicate. He can't interact really with the world in a way he understands. He would have the understanding of a toddler.
No. I think...
Go ahead.
All right. So I think even in the first few episodes, I got the sense he was trying to get his body back without having seen any of the rest of the show. And I felt like that was his goal from the beginning. I think he has that ability to see these shapes and colors like what Chibi was mentioning. And I think because of that, and the old man talks about it, he has a greater sense of things than even people who can see and feel things.
Yeah, this is the idea of like saying like Helen Keller can't interact, was like, never able to interact
Helen
with the world.
Keller knew so much more. Yeah, like he has so much more ability than I think you're giving him credit for.
But not when she first gained the ability. When she was first taught how to spell and stuff. She was not smart. Her development was severely delayed.
Okay, so what is the question here?
It's not saying anything about how she learned.
What is the question here? Are we saying that he's too dumb to realize there are things in the world? What's going on? It's
not too dumb. I'm saying he was so underdeveloped at that point. Do you think a toddler would realize, like, oh, if I go kill things...
Yes,
I will get
absolutely.
Something from it.
We teach it's called fucking Pavlov.
Does he even
know? You give them a reward.
He's killing them.
You give them a reward. Yeah, he knows what killing is. He sees life in things. Look. There was a shot where he takes a flower, he sees the life in it, he crushes it, and it's gone. It's as simple as that, taking life. Then he sees the red things that are going to kill him.
Let me just say this before we go on this for like another 2 hours. I feel like in the beginning, he was just curious and once he realized he could get limbs, he was just probably curious and maybe thinking, can I get more of this?
Well,
I think it was back.
True.
Well, I think after he figured out his past, that was when he really wanted to get back what was taken from him.
Yeah, that's when it becomes a more thing
it's kind
there.
Of like a revenge story.
Yes, it changes, why I'm looking for these things beyond just I want more of these things.
I think
But still, he's still, it's like, are you saying he has no motivation to go get these things on his own?
I think one of the things that makes it this way is because I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe in the original manga, he had more of his stuff.
He did.
Or
He
he
did.
he could see, right? In the manga.
It was something like that.
He
had
could
some
definitely
sort of,
either
yeah.
see or speak from the very beginning of the story. So his motivations were more clear because he had some more of his body parts already in the beginning of the story. So I think they made it so that he didn't in this anime. So I think it makes it more confusing, but I think his motivation is there, but they wanted to communicate his motivation less verbally. But I think he has the same motivation from the beginning that he did in the manga. It's just not as obvious.
I mean, for all we know, there could be like a level of like...
The only thing you have to go off of that is Jukai's words. And that's kind of my issue. Hyakimaru in the beginning is a blank slate that everyone else just kind of forces their own ideas onto because we don't know what's actually going on in his head.
Okay. Shush. So I'm reading here in the thing. This is for the old manga. The young man learned from a ghostly voice of the curse that had been set upon him at birth, and that by killing demons responsible, he could reclaim the stolen pieces of his body and thus regain his humanity. There.
I mean, the fact, like, the idea that, you know, he's been cursed since, like, he popped out of his mom by these demons, I'd imagine there might have been some level of, like, I don't know what this thing is in front of me, but I'm saying now, it's not without beyond the realm of possibilities that he could see this red aura and be like, I hate you for some reason, and I really want you dead.
He clearly knows the red aura is bad. He feels that it's evil or something, because he attacks anything that has it.
Oh, yeah,
but I think the manga had that goal in mind from the beginning, and I think they changed a few things about the anime, but they were trying to express the same goal through him.
I think part of it, and this might just be like why they decided to do certain things certain ways, I think back then, when you're doing the manga and the anime, I don't want to say like they were bad at it, but they didn't have as easy of a time animating as many things, like physical action, emotions that weren't verbal, things like, you know, as you keep going, technology gets better, artistic technique get better. I think now we just have the ability to
show, not tell,
to
kind of thing.
Completely show, not tell. Yeah. And that's what you get through Yakimaru.
And I think it feels almost more tragic and makes him feel more strong. It makes him feel like a stronger character because he has to overcome more. And I think I have a lot of respect for him, that I feel like he does understand things and he does know what he wants and what he believes is good and bad, and like can move through the world despite having nothing. Yeah. And to me, it makes me think of, you know, people who really like don't have as much quote-unquote ability as some other people might have and can still move through the world and do these things. And I don't know, it just is astonishing to me how much people can adapt and do, and I think Hyakimaru does that. Personally, I think he does that.
Yeah, at this point, could he name any of the things that he's doing or seeing? Absolutely not. But he knows what they are on, like, sort of an intrinsic level.
I think it's the adaptability stuff that's interesting. And once again, I think the old man says it pretty plainly that he sees more than most people do.
Yeah. Which old man? Old man mom or old man blind?
The man who's blind.
Okay.
The man who's blind says, like, he sees
I don't quite know where you guys are going with all of this, but I'm with Kozi. I feel like at first it was just, oh, red things are bad. I need to destroy the red things. And then he was kind of pushed out. He's like, all right, I'm going to go destroy more red things.
But that's a level of understanding. And he wasn't really pushed out at that point.
But my argument wasn't he didn't have a motivation. It was that his motivation was not, I'm going to get my body back.
I think that came once he got the leg back.
Kill the red things. And then eventually it developed into...
I did also pull a page from Chibi's book, and I pulled it up. It says, Jukai realized that he could gain his body parts back, so he sent him off.
But why did then Yakimaru do that? You don't think he had any motivation to do it himself?
Anyway.
Jukai
I think we're going in circles
his thoughts to him because he can't hear or whatever. He can't create the nuance of all this sort of stuff. So for all Jukai could have been like, he's like, I will send you out into the world. And then Yakimaru literally comes back because he has no idea that Jukai said that.
Yeah, I personally think, I agree, he has some level of understanding, but I don't think we're all going to agree on this, so I think we can move on. We're not going to agree about Yakimaru's motivation at all.
We can all agree after he gets his hearing back, probably.
Yeah, then we'll all agree on that, but let's
everyone's
maybe
on
talk
the
about
same
something
page
else.
there. So, is there anything else to talk about? I'm actually trying to think. We went a lot
I do
into
want to
some
argue
characters.
just one more semantic point.
Oh, God.
Was the central nervous system.
Okay.
Because at the beginning of the next episode, he's feeling the rain.
Cool. So, he's still clearly aware of his own body, though. Whether
I
he
agree,
feels it or not, because, like...
Yes, no, he can see the aura of his body.
Yeah. So maybe he's operating purely on sight and eventually on instinct of understanding, how my body interacts with the rest of the world, even if I can't feel it. But, yeah.
CC did ask when he gets his eyes back. I laughed.
Oh, that's late. That's
very end.
The last few episodes.
Like, not to spoil the order in which he gets his body parts back, but it's always going to be like, anytime you're like, you like lose something and you have to gain things back, it's usually sight is the last thing, I feel like.
Yeah, and the way that they handle getting his sight back, that's like one of the best scenes in the back half of the show.
It's fucking big.
I agree. It's good.
I mean, doing that is like sort of like symbolism for like enlightenment.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you're finally able to fully see, quote unquote.
I mean, I guess there's one thing we haven't talked about, and the fact that this show, at least for its ending, was very different from the manga. Like, they completely changed the ending. However, unlike 9 times out of 10 where you have an anime original ending, this ending was better than the manga's ending.
I don't know the manga's ending, but I do love the end of this.
Yeah, I think the ending with this really fit.
Start to end, just solid beginning, middle, end of this show.
Yeah, there wasn't any point of it that I really felt like they should have done this differently or something.
Can I ask for the people who know, because this is not a spoiler for this version of the show, what is the ending of the manga?
Basically, from what I heard, it's how the movie... Go ahead.
Lots of people live that shouldn't.
Okay, that says about enough. Yeah. If you couldn't tell, this is going to be a violent ending. Like a big violent ending.
One other note I'd like to make is it was kind of fucked up that Stick watched the baby hollow face float down the river and was like, huh. Oh well, bye.
Also just watched Granny get murked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never said he was a good guy.
I also think he's supposed to be a spirit, not an actual person.
He's a person. He interacts with a lot of stuff.
He's just like one of those people that live to be like 1,000 years old just because.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. He's mysterious.
I think this is one of the things that you wouldn't get from watching the show, but it does say, maybe spirit's the wrong word, but he's not like a demon.
Are you saying he's like the bell guy in episode 2?
No, there was a name. Hold on. He has like a traditional like Japanese spirit name.
Okay, so this is like a very specific sort of like, not like a type of monster. This is an individual spirit kind of thing. Okay.
Like a spirit guide.
If that's the case in the original, it might have been changed. He seems to, for the most part, be a human in this version.
I think it could go either way. I could see it being a spirit or a human.
Yeah.
Because I think spirits can sometimes interact with other people and things as well.
Fair. The thing is, you don't usually see a whole lot of spirits in this show, as opposed to just demons. Maybe it's a matter of, like, the spirits just don't interact as much, and the demons are just, like, assholes. Which is, fair to say, demons are assholes, but...
I feel like the halfway point... Or no, was that not spirits in the end? They just thought it was.
I'm trying. I don't want you to spoil, but like at the same time, it's like, what happened?
The Ben Manuel.
Oh.
Wait, which episode is this?
It's the midpoint.
Weren't-
It's the family stuff.
Yeah. Weren't all those spirits released at the end?
Ah.
Like the dead soldier spirits?
Oh yeah,
I'm re-
yeah.
I would have to rewatch it again to like get the nitty-gritty details. I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's
I can't remember if that was the trick of the monster of the week or not.
Well, it was a monster of the week, so that's why I'm kind of like, is that a demon thing? Is it a spirit? It's like, what's... Okay. I don't know. That's something... You know what? Hey, if anyone's watching this and like that's going to add motivation for you to watch this show to find out what the spirits and the demons and what's the distinction, if there is something, hey, check it out more. Because this is, if we haven't convinced you outside of our arguments over character motivation, this is a good show that you should watch if you
Yes.
haven't already. And then you can argue over whether Yakimaru had any motivation at this point.
Again, I wasn't arguing he didn't have a motivation. Stop moving the goalpost.
I'm not moving a goalpost. I'm moving the halfway yard line. Football. We should watch a football anime.
I Shield 21.
All right. Is that the
Can we
only
do
one?
Rugby instead.
No.
It's not the only one?
You know who starts with rugby? JoJo.
You know,
Never mind.
it's an excellent point. No, Cece has an excellent point. We should watch JoJo soon.
Never mind.
All of it. All at once.
Yeah.
Everything.
Just a marathon.
No.
You did that
Good
once.
God.
I did not enjoy it.
It was not a marathon, but yeah. And we didn't even make it to season...
That would take
Whatever.
fucking forever to marathon that.
Yeah.
Those seasons get longer and longer as it keeps going. Anywho, does anyone have anything else to say about this show? Closing thoughts, remarks, anything?
Was that Stick? Is this where he retires to?
Well, Stick lives in the modern age, but okay.
Are you sure? I think he might be immortal.
Well, one way or another, then it would be that Stick retires in Daredevil, not...
Okay, alright, that's fair. I got it backwards. Is this
You-
Stick
you don't-
pre-retirement?
You don't retire in the past. And
Maybe he came out of retirement for Daredevil.
You know what? Maybe. I don't know. No, I don't think so, because the whole thing with, like, at least in the Netflix version, was, like, that the hand was immortal, and the stick and stone and everybody else was all like, yeah, no, don't do that. That's bad.
Agreed, immortality is bad.
Well, when you're using immortality to, Illuminati control the world,
it's
then...
bad.
Yeah,
Just die.
yeah. Stop eating the dragon bones.
Anyway, watch Dororo.
Watch Daredevil, too. Good show.
Watch Daredevil.
Watch Daredevil and
Watch
Dororo.
Speed Racer.
Oddly enough, couple similarities here. A lot of martial arts. There's blind people fighting,
Cece
Good
really
stuff.
just thought you were about to say this had similarities to Speed Racer.
No.
Similarities to Speed Racer? Hey, they were both originally conceived in the 60s.
Yeah.
Where it starts and ends.
How many similarities does this have to Speed Racer? More than you'd think.
More than you think.
They have theme songs that slap.
Okay, I'm taking my earbuds out. This conversation is making my head hurt.
We're pretty much done here, I think. I think
Yeah,
that's
we're
probably
wrapping
it.
it up.
I don't think anyone else has anything to say. So, next week, Chibi, I believe you're up for your underrated recommendation. Do you remember what yours was?
Tamako Market.
Yeah, Tamako Market. What is Tamako Market?
It's a slice of life anime about a girl and this boy who has a crush on her and a bird from a magical tropical island. And
So
that's
the
all I'm gonna say.
The exact opposite of whatever this show was.
It
Was
is
this on
as
Anime
someone.
Network?
Renvi,
As-
don't say anything. Shush. No.
No,
no, no.
I was just gonna
Don't
say.
care.
as some-
Don't care.
What?
Wow.
Be surprised.
Oh, you are being shushed hard. So just I'm assuming that things are gonna go down and go down hard in a slice of life rom-com at a market
Oh.
with a bird. They put a bird on it.
Oh, that one.
So, slice of life rom-coms, they don't usually go down.
Yeah, but this one's gonna
Like,
go
maybe-
down. Get
Maybe
ready.
Kiss at most.
Get ready next Sunday for Tamako Market. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!